What if I told you that the most ambitious, futuristic city ever conceived is already showing cracks in its perfect mirrored facade? Welcome back to Planet Builders, the channel where we explore humanity's grandest visions for the future. Today, we're not talking about a project on the drawing board, but one that has broken ground, moved mountains of sand, and is now facing a line in the sand of its own. We're talking about Saudi Arabia's flagship giga-project, a 170-kilometer-long mirrored city in the desert known simply as the Line. For years, we've watched in awe as Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman unveiled a vision of a utopian metropolis, unlike anything the world has ever seen. The promise? A linear city, 500 meters tall, 200 meters wide, stretching for 170 kilometers through the desert and along the Red Sea coast. A place with zero cars, zero streets, and zero carbon emissions. A city where all your daily needs are within a 5-minute walk, and a high-speed rail could whisk you from one end to the other in just 20 minutes. It was the centerpiece of Saudi Arabia's audacious Vision 2030 plan, an attempt to transition the kingdom's oil-based economy into one focused on tourism, technology, and a brand new way of living. This was more than just a city. It was a statement, a modern-day pyramid, a wonder of the world built not for a pharaoh, but for a new generation of dreamers. The architectural renderings were breathtaking, capturing the global imagination and earning the project a place in the pantheon of unbelievable human ambition. But behind the scenes, whispers have been growing into a roar. A recent news report, first published by Bloomberg and corroborated by our own research, has revealed that Saudi authorities are taking a serious strategic look at the project's feasibility. They've called in consulting firms to conduct a comprehensive review of the line, asking the hard questions that many have been asking for years. Is this project truly practical, and at what cost? The financial pressure on the kingdom is a major factor. The very oil that built the foundation for this wealth is now a source of new problems. Recent low oil prices have put a strain on Saudi Arabia's finances, making projects with astronomical price tags harder to justify. According to internal audits and reports from sources like the Wall Street Journal, the initial cost estimates of $500 billion for the entire Neom project have ballooned to a mind-boggling $8.8 trillion. To put that in perspective, that's more than 25 times the kingdom's annual budget. The cost for the first phase alone is now estimated at $370 billion. And with these soaring costs, the timeline has stretched. The original plan to have a significant portion of the line completed by 2030 has been dramatically scaled back. Instead of accommodating 1.5 million residents by the end of the decade, the target has been reduced to fewer than 300,000. And the planned 170-kilometer length, reports suggest only a modest 2.4-kilometer stretch is expected to be completed by 2030. The full 170-kilometer vision may not be realized until as late as 2080. The appointment of a new CEO for Neom, Ayman Al-Mudaffar, seems to have been the catalyst for this pragmatic reassessment. His mandate is to look at the project with a fresh and perhaps more critical eye. We're now seeing the very real consequences of this review. The project is reportedly considering significant cost-cutting alterations. This could mean reducing its planned 500-meter height, shortening its initial length, or even reconsidering its iconic mirrored exterior. These are not minor tweaks. They are fundamental changes that could alter the very identity of the project. We've also heard reports of workforce layoffs and the relocation of over 1,000 employees from the construction site to Riyadh in an effort to control costs. While a spokesperson for Neom has insisted that this review is common practice for a project of this scale and that the line remains a strategic priority, it's clear that reality is setting in. The ambitious dream is being confronted by economic headwinds and the sheer immense difficulty of building such a structure in a remote desert location. It's important to remember that the line is just the most visible part of Saudi Arabia's larger giga-project initiative. This initiative also includes other mind-bending projects, like the massive Mukab, a colossal cube-shaped skyscraper that will be one of the largest buildings in the world. The Jek Tower,
which could become the world's new tallest skyscraper, and tourism-focused destinations like Neom, a resort with the world's longest sky pool. How this strategic review of the line impacts these other projects remains to be seen, but it's likely that the lessons learned from the line's challenges will influence them all. So, what does this all mean for the future of the line? It doesn't mean the project is dead, far from it. Construction is still happening, and billions of dollars have already been invested. But it does mean that the perfect, impossible vision we were sold is likely to be a lot more complicated, a lot more gradual, and a lot less grand than initially imagined. It's a story of ambition versus reality, of vision versus feasibility, and it's a powerful lesson for us all, the builders, the dreamers, and the observers of the future, that even the most audacious plans must eventually contend with the cold, hard laws of physics, economics, and human will. The future of the line is now in the hands of consultants, budgets, and strategic reviews. Will it still be a city of the future, or will it become a monument to an impossible dream? That's a question only time and a whole lot of money will be able to answer. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.